Dr. Ben Spencer, can I say thank you for giving some time with me. You were just a doctor specialising in mental health. Tell me more about your career and what made you decide to become an MP.
One thing that you see, I saw day in, day out, was people whose mental illness, their mental health needs, was driven by factors which one may think sort of were nothing to do with medicine in a sense. So people who were unemployed, chronically unemployed, or people who just lost their job or in crisis. Many people who are homeless because of a variety of reasons, people with extremely poor housing, people for whom lack of opportunities, lots of societal factors, poverty, social economic deprivation, really not only sort of were driving their mental health problems, but if you sort of look back, you can see it almost causing it in the first place. There's so much stuff that you can do to change people's lives and help them, particularly when you're looking at mental health. That's very much nothing to do with medicine. It's to do with policy. It's to do with how we want our society to be. You know, creating jobs, creating opportunities, better housing, better open spaces. And it was that, and in combination with the 2015 general election, which I got quite involved in. My friend was standing in the northeast, and it sort of just triggered off. And I thought, you know what? Let's give it a go.
The flame was reignited in that sense.
Exactly. So sort of let's give it a go. Let's go for it, and let's see where we get. And you know, I'm been an MP now for just over a year. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I'm delighted to be the MP for Ingham and Weybridge. It's, you know, it's a huge honour, as you all know, but at the same time a great responsibility. I think there's huge parallels with being a doctor and doing...
No, a doctor, a social worker, a politician, all rolls into one big job now for you.
Well, it indeed, and it's why I particularly, one of the areas that I particularly enjoy is the casework side of things, because, you know, for me, the job is about people. It's about talking to people, listening to people, representing people, trying to fix things.
How bad is the nation's mental health, do you think, at the moment?
I'm sort of quite stringent in terms of when I start talking about it, which is to separate out what I think of mental well-being compared to things which you say is a diagnosable mental illness, which might be the sort of thing which would get you in front of me when I was working as a mental health doctor. In terms of mental well-being, I think, like anyone, you know, it's clear things are pretty tough for everybody. It's been a hugely stressful year for everyone, and that's the pandemic has affected people in lots of different ways, put lots of pressure on families. You know, lots of people lost their jobs, lots of people have been furloughed, which doesn't come without its stresses and its pressures. Lots of people are working every hour God sends, and the impact that's been having. So I think in terms of overall stress levels, they're pretty high, and I think people's well-being as a nation probably isn't that great. For me, the roadmap and the certainty around it is critical, because what I think people really need at the moment, more than anything, is hope.
And of course, you've been here through the pandemic. What assessment have you made of MP's mental health and the staff during the pandemic? Have you seen a difference in colleagues?
Well, I think it's, for many colleagues, it's been a hugely difficult time. I mean, I don't know about you, Mr. Speaker, but I've never worked harder in my life. I thought my renal SHO job was the benchmark of hard working, but this is set a new sort of benchmark. And I think one of the difficulties that colleagues and staff have is setting boundaries and knowing when to switch off. And I think that's one of the challenges of the job, which is, you know, WhatsApp is always going, events are always going, the world just keeps on spinning, you know, and there's always issues that can flare up that you have to respond to, and you know, that's the nature of the beast in terms of the job. But I think it's particularly for staff, I think having those boundaries, being able to switch off and getting that sense of work-life balance, I think is really important. I mean, this job it's a job, but it's a vocation on steroids in a sense, in terms of how you do it. But that's also the beauty of it. I think you've got to be a particular type of personality in terms of wanting to do this and what we have to do.
One of my big areas is well-being, making sure we're looking after everybody. Am I missing something? You know, talking to somebody like yourself, it's great for me to get that information.
Well, firstly, I mean, I sort of welcome and really thank you for the work and the focus that you've put on in terms of the health and well-being of people who work in the parliamentary estate, members, staff and members of parliament. I think that's I think that's a very important thing that we do look after, because it's, you know, we need to, as we look after everyone, we need some help and support too. So I you know, thank you for doing that. I would say I'm going to be a typical doctor in the sense that I'm going to say what I think people should do, and obviously ignore most of these myself. Which
Sound
is
like a politician.
well, maybe
Like, that's been here 30 years.
maybe that's the whole. That's why, you know, I ended up in this job. But it's, you know, general things like making, you know, cutting down on alcohol, eating healthily, doing lots of exercise, working in sort of healthier living into one's day-to-day routine. And routine is really important. It may seem like small things, but actually have a huge difference. And then, of course, peer support, which is critical, particularly given the stresses, and confidential peer support, given the place that we work. But
people's mental health has improved for some because they've been working at home, they see the children, they're not having the huge distances to travel to work. It's taken a lot of that pressure off. Can we learn from that?
I think definitely there's a group of people for whom working from home has been very beneficial, and it's helped them a lot. I suspect, and there's a group who really hasn't, and it's been absolute disastrous. What have you done for garden? What if you don't have space to have a desk? What if you're sitting on your bed working? You know, all these kind of things. For the people who I think, though, it has been absolutely lovely and it's been a huge improvement in their quality of life, I still think there's going to be a tail-off effect, because I think there is something that we lose out from not coming into offices, not doing things face-to-face.
I agree. There is nothing better than like we're doing. We're having a nice chat, good conversation. Can I say, Dr. Ben Spencer, Ben, thank you. It's been really enlightening, and thank you for what you do as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.